This message wasn't sent to the police, not sent to a lawyer, and wasn't even posted publicly. It was sent to a small private group, just 22 words. And 2 hours later, the man who typed them, Tyler Robinson, was in police custody, accused of murdering Charlie Kirk. This is the story of a message that cracked open a murder investigation and a chilling confession that could decide the fate of the entire case. So on September the 10th, 2025, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. It was all part of his American comeback tour, a high energy campus event. Thousands of people attended, but at 12:20, it turned into a nightmare. From a rooftop around 140 yards away, a single shot hit Kirk in the neck. He collapsed on stage. People rushed around, they screamed, they ducked for cover, and chaos tore through the crowd.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
And he was rushed away by medics, but later that day he was pronounced dead. And with hours, the FBI launched a manhunt for someone they had seen on the roof, someone who was filmed climbing off a roof. And within hours, the FBI launched an investigation. They were looking for the man. A manhunt was launched. They were looking for the shooter. And for 33 hours, the public knew nothing. Investigators combed through the rooftop, stairwells, cameras, alleys. They found a scoped rifle weapon in a towel. Some spent casing was found and a screwdriver, possibly used to access the roof. But no suspect, no name. And meanwhile, in a private Discord server, about 20 to 30 members, someone was watching the manhunt unfold while quietly cracking under the pressure. And that someone was allegedly Tyler Robinson. And group members have since told reporters that during the manhunt, the chat started joking. They started joking about how the blurry FBI suspect image looked a bit like Tyler. One even posted a side-by-side screenshot. People laughed. Tyler apparently laughed too, replying, "Lol, that guy looks nothing like me." But there was cracks showing. Cracks started to show. He went quiet for hours, then reappeared with a strange, nervous energy. One message reportedly said, "If I go away for a while, just know I love you guys." Another mentioned seeing everyone again eventually. These comments didn't make sense at the time. In hindsight, they sound a bit like warning signs. And then on September the 12th, it happened. This message came through from Tyler, and it simply said, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." And that was it. No emojis, simply 22 words he typed out. And members said their stomachs dropped. Some begged him to clarify. One replied, "Don't joke about this." But it wasn't a joke. That message was sent roughly 2 hours before the police arrested him. And after the message, the group exploded with panic. Some tried to convince him to turn himself in. Others went silent, not sure what to believe. Was this all a hoax? A few quietly took screenshots and contacted law enforcement. Within hours, FBI agents had the chat logs and were closing in on the suspect. And by late afternoon, Robinson was in custody. And the chat went silent. No goodbye, no follow-up. He was just gone. And so far, this message has become one of the most important, if not the most controversial pieces of evidence in the case. And legally, it looks like a confession. But because it wasn't given to the police, it has to be treated carefully. They will need to prove a few things. They will need to prove that the account really belonged to Tyler Robinson and that he and no one else had typed the message. And finally, they also have to check it hasn't been faked or taken out of context. And what this all means is digital forensics, okay? They're gonna be looking at IP logs, they're gonna be looking at device fingerprints, timestamps, etc., and even typing patterns as well. And if they can verify that this was him, this is going to be devastating evidence in court. But if not, this just becomes another disturbing rumour. But one of the questions I've had, and maybe the biggest question of all, why did he confess on a Discord server with 20 to 30 people? Why not to a lawyer? Why not even to the police? Criminologists believe that when there is a digital confession, it often happens because there's an emotional overload, guilt, fear, or even pride has kicked in. And it's about wanting to be known, wanting to be understood, and maybe someone, kind of wanting to agree that what he done was the right thing and they would have done the same. And of course, typing in a chat feels less real than saying it in person. If he would have said this to a detective, he would have been straight away in handcuffs, but typing it in a chat room, there's no handcuffs, there's no courtroom, there's no consequences, at least not at that moment. And that tone does show in the messages itself. There was no drama, there was no caps locks, no theatrics. It was just a message saying, yes, it's me, a confession. And there's still a lot of unanswered questions. There's still a lot of stuff we do not know about right now. So did he plan to tell his friends? Or was this the first step towards surrendering? Did anyone in the group know something was coming and maybe stay quiet? Had stuff been spoken about in the group before? Had threats been made in the group and maybe people felt it was an empty threat and it wasn't going to be followed up? So the police are going to be looking in the group to find out if they can find the deleted messages maybe within the group to find out whether there is more to this leading up to the assassination. So with regards to Tyler, he's currently being held without bail and he's expected to be charged with first-degree murder. But right now, prosecutors are actually looking through the Discord logs to decide whether they can use this and form this as part of the evidence as a confession in court. And whether this holds up or not, I believe it's already shaped the case and the public narrative. So one message, just 22 words typed in a private group chat and possibly the key to solving one of the most shocking political assassinations in modern US history. It was me at UVU yesterday. If that is proven authentic, it's not just a confession. It's a glimpse into the mind of someone who had not just killed, but also who couldn't deal with it, who couldn't keep it to themselves. Was that guilt? Was that fear? Was that bragging rights? Did he want the world to know that, yes, it was him? Let me know your thoughts on this. This case is forever developing. Do you think this will be upheld in court? I'll be keen to know your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video very soon.